This video, I'm going to speak about a huge misunderstanding from these MMA people into thinking that Bruce Lee was promoting MMA or this cage fight and stuff through Enter the Dragon, through that first fight scene. I can't even believe that I even have to explain this to people. But you have the founder of the UFC that says it himself that oh, you know, Bruce Lee was doing MMA and Enter the Dragon in that first fight scene. He was wearing the gloves, and it was just, I don't know. I lose hope for society, and I see it in these comments all the time. People think that Bruce Lee was promoting cage fighting from Enter the Dragon in that first fight scene. I'm gonna try not to swear in this movie because I don't want to make it too unprofessional, but I'm sick of trying to educate people that they're just not there in the head. It's like most of these people that value this MMA stuff, their intelligence is so low that it's pointless. And that's one thing that I don't like. I don't like teaching children martial arts because, one, they're not ready for the martial arts, and they just don't have the attention span. I mean, they're just so hyperactive, they don't listen, and once you tell them to try to follow along, they just can't follow. I like to teach adults. I like to teach people that are mature. I like to teach people that can listen to directions. And the way that I see all these people that are into the MMA, they're all children. They don't know anything about martial arts at all. I'll tell you like this: before this cage fight and stuff, WWF was not martial arts. It still is not martial arts. If I had to explain to you why WWF, the professional wrestling, is not martial arts, if I had to explain that to you, that's sad. I mean, you should be clear in your head why it's not. Okay, so I watched that fight scene in Enter the Dragon, the first fight scene, over again, and I'm gonna put that link into the description section of this video. You can watch it yourself. Okay, and I'm gonna go through everything to clearly indicate to you that he was not promoting cage fight. For one, he was not in a cage. He was out in the open field, close to nature, in the blue sky. It was outdoors. It was not in a cage. So that's one huge thing. Now, what he was basically doing, he was sparring. And it just so happens that he wore protective gloves, and then all of a sudden people are saying that's cage fighting. He was sparring. That's what all martial artists do. They spar. That's what I do. But it doesn't mean that I promote cage fighting. I spar all the time. In that fight scene, he bowed before the sparring and he bowed after the sparring. There was no anger involved at all. No anger from him, no anger from the person he was sparring. And who was there? There was no referee. It was a master. It was a Zen master. It was a sage. That was their master. That was Bruce's master, and that was the other person's master. That was the Sifu. It's not a ref. That was like a monastery. That was the master, the Zen master. It was not a referee. It was not an organized fight. The people that were sitting around were disciples of the master. They were all wearing different colored clothing. Maybe it signified the different ranks within that school. It was a martial arts school, a Zen martial arts school, with the students watching the sparring session. It was not a bunch of people coming out of nowhere paying $500 for a seat to watch a fight occur. It was not, if you win this, you're gonna get $50,000. Okay? Everything that happened in there when he was sparring that guy was clean. There was no anger. He did not jump on top of the person and start beating the person until the person was brain dead. He did not kick the person on the ground. He did not jump on top of him and start smashing his face in while he was on the ground. Everything was clean. Every technique was clean. And then he just decided to make the person submit by a simple joint locking technique. And that's it. It was the end of it. And then after, they bowed to each other, they bowed to the master, and that was the end of the sparring session. It was artistic. There was no prostitutes walking around with holding numbers to say this is round 1, round 2, round 3. There was no ambulance on the sideline waiting in case somebody gets hospitalized. There was no doctor standing by waiting for somebody to need their assistance. There is no fight coaches. There is no people cheering. Saying fight, 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 fight. It just so happens that he just wore some gloves to protect the other person in the sparring session. And then all of a sudden they said, oh, that's MMA. You know, I'm 30 years old now. I feel like I'm trying to educate 10-year-olds on what martial arts really is. You know, all these people that practice the MMA stuff, you guys, mentally, you're not ready. Emotionally, you're not ready. You guys, none of you guys deserve to even practice martial arts at all. You guys need to go and read some books or something. I'm sick of it. And now, you know, somebody forwarded me a link to a trailer where they're making a movie from, you know, about Bruce promoting cage fighting. It's very disappointing to me. Everything that's going on right now. Very disappointing. They're destroying Bruce's reputation. They're making it seem that they're calling him the godfather of MMA. It's very disappointing. Very disappointing. I'm sick of trying to explain. I mean, how could this even need explanation? How could that fight scene even, just because he wore gloves and he was wearing like spandex shorts or underwear or whatever, they're saying that's MMA. That entire fight scene was completely spiritual. Right after the fight scene, he goes and talks to the Zen master, and they talk about philosophy. And all the movies that he came out with, every single fight scene, none of them he was wearing any gloves. But then they purposely pick out that one fight scene where he's wearing gloves, and all of a sudden they call that MMA. Every single other fight scene, there were no gloves. He was wearing his kung fu uniform or his kung fu clothes, street clothes, He was fighting with nunchucks. He was fighting a person that was holding a knife. And while he had no weapons, he was fighting a person that had a sword while he had no weapons. He was using double sticks. He was using the Filipino stick fightings. He was using a bow staff. He was fighting against nunchuck, against staff, or bamboo stick. Every single other fight scene, what about that? How come they don't bring that up? What are you MMA fighters, so-called mixed martial art fighters, are gonna do when somebody has a sword and you got nothing? What are you gonna do then? Triangle choke? Are you kidding me? Armbar? Takedown? What are you MMA fighters gonna do when somebody has a knife and he's really good at using it and you got nothing and he's out to kill you? And you know what? He's faster than you. You can't run because he's quicker than you. And he has more endurance than you. Then what are you gonna do? Triangle choke? Armbar? Takedown? Are you kidding me? What are you gonna do if somebody has nunchucks and you got nothing? MMA fighters, what are you gonna do? And he knows how to use them pretty good. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do if he has a gun? What are you gonna do if he's got 20 friends behind him and it's just you? And they got bats and beer bottles and sticks and knives. What are you gonna do, MMA fighter? That's real martial arts. And Bruce, he was fighting multiple opponents all the time. Did you guys remember that other fight scene where he walked into that Japanese school and it was just him and he was fighting all those Japanese karate people? Do you remember that? That's real martial arts. But then they're gonna select this one where he's wearing gloves and all of a sudden, oh, he's MMA. Oh, he's promoting MMA. Oh, he did one joint lock. Oh, that's MMA. You guys are just so brain dead that I don't know how else to help. I seriously don't. I'm giving up. Seriously. I don't even want to talk about this anymore. And then you see this Bruce Lee movie that they're making to make it that they're trying to make money off of Bruce and then saying that he is the godfather of MMA. And then they're having the Bruce Lee stepping in the cage and all this other stuff. I am sick of it. I don't even want to put any more energy to this. I just want to do my thing and let it be. Because no matter what, there will be people that eat all that junk food. There will be people that smoke all those cigarettes. There will be people that drink all that alcohol. There will be people that smoke all that weed. There will be people that take the crack, that take the heroin. There will be people that do that MMA crap. I'm up against so much. It's taken too much of my energy to try to explain things to people. You know, if you don't get it, you don't get it. That's it. You don't want to accept me as a teacher? Okay. Don't. Go ahead and do your thing. Go ahead and do your thing. I'm just going to do my thing. That's it. But it's very disappointing. You know, there's another movie where Bruce Lee, one of his beginning movies, where he was drunk. So, do you think because he was drunk that he promotes alcohol now? or he promotes people to be drunk. And then there's almost every fight scene he's killing the person. He killed Chuck Norris in the fight scene, so does that mean that he's promoting people to kill people now? He killed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in Game of Death. Does that mean that he's promoting to kill people now? I mean, people can always pick and choose one little aspect of a certain movie and try to use that as to support what they want to promote. And that's what they do with Jesus' teachings. They pick and choose what they want out of the Bible, and then they corrupt your mind by making you believe that that's what Jesus was trying to teach when he really wasn't. That's why religions are so jacked up. Morning. So, with Bruce Lee's life, he's like a modern Jesus. And with the technology now, with the film, published books, photographs, even with that technology, you can see clearly how his original teachings are severely corrupted by mainstream society. Just imagine how corrupted Jesus' teachings have been for all these thousands of years, when there's no photographs, no movie, no video, and it's just word of mouth. Just imagine how corrupted religion is. Even with Bruce, who just died maybe 40 years ago, and we have this technology in place, movies and writings, and still how corrupted his teachings are. Nearly everything that we call religion is extremely corrupted. The truth is so hard for people to grasp because of all this corruption. But I don't even want to talk about it too much more. Too much of my energy is going into this MMA thing. It's taking away my joy in life. I need to just move on and almost act as if it doesn't exist. Because the more I feed into it, the more that negative energy is rubbing off onto me, and it's affecting my life. So I'll continue to do my thing, and all these MMA people can continue to do theirs. McDonald's will continually flourish. They got McDonald's in China now, making everybody in China obese as well. McDonald's is gonna flourish all across the globe. They got the money to do that. For me, I'll eat healthy, and I'll promote the healthy. I'll promote real martial arts. I'll promote Zen martial arts. Everybody else, they can do their thing. People want to get fat, let them get fat. People want to get drunk, let them get drunk. People want to get alcohol poisoning, let them get alcohol poisoning. People want to smoke, go ahead and smoke. People want to get lung cancer, let them get lung cancer. People want to get herpes, let them get herpes. People want to be violent, let them be violent. They want to go to jail, let them go to jail. Maybe through the mistakes they make in life, maybe they'll learn something. For me, I'm just gonna do my thing. That's it. That's all I could do.